Today we got a review of the KJW 1911A1, so let's get inside and take a closer look at the gun itself. Here is the box, being that it's licensed by Cybergun. It is very flashy, so let's open it up and see what's inside. An instruction manual that tells you the basics of how to work the gun and nothing more. A small tool for loading the magazine and removing the barrel. A small box of about 100 KJW BBs that you can go ahead and use. A 25 round green gas magazine. And of course your Cybergun licensed KJW 1911A1. So let's get inside and take a closer look at the gun. So here is the gun. It is full metal. The slide, the frame, pretty much every piece to this gun is metal, including the 25 round green gas magazine. The only exception being the pistol grips. So, I guess first thing would be loading the magazine. Just fast forward if you have these, because if you've had another green gas gun is what I meant to say, because you just load them the same as the other one. But for all you beginners, well, what you would do is take this tool, and there's a little peg in there that you would put it on here, pull it down, and latch it on. But I do not recommend doing that because the little thing will break off in there, and it is hard to load BBs. So like I have to take a screwdriver and pull down the spring and that to load it easily. So you just do that, fill in your 0.2 gram BBs or 0.25 are recommended. You can use the box that came with it if you absolutely have to. I still wouldn't highly recommend it, but you can go ahead and use them. And then obviously you would of course put in your 3 to 5 seconds of green gas to fill the magazine up all the way. I have noticed one thing, that this is my personal first gas blowback, but since I've got this, I've used so many more gas blowback pistols and rifles, but this particular one, I cannot get it to feed. If you load all 25, for some reason there will not be enough gas to hold all 25 BBs. I only have one magazine. I don't know if it's just mine. I don't know if it's all the mags that come with it, or I just am not sure. So that is a con, but I guess if you're playing like a Vietnam or World War II actual mil-sim, you could only put 7 rounds like the real 1911. So just wanted to mention that. Moving on, like I said, the gun is full metal. It has standard pistol sights. Let me get you basically like that. And now, as you might be able to tell, my gun is scratched up a bit. I did that on purpose, just to make it look a little aged, because I think that a 1911A1 along with an AK should look a bit aged, as if they have gone through a war, because they are older guns. So yeah, full trades right there, and on the other side, I'm not going to read them, but you can pause the video and look to read them yourself. So that's also a very nice thing. I have had this for quite some time, and they're staying on there great. They will not come off, scratching at them even, and they're not really fading or coming off at all. Next thing is the pistol grips. As I mentioned, they are all plastic, but there is a metal part inside of them, so you have this thin plastic shell with a metal weighted part on the inside to give it a more realistic weight, although it already is full metal and heavy enough. I just wanted to mention that these are compatible with real 1911 grips, so that's very cool that they are. Moving on to the safety, it is located right here on the right side of the gun, right there behind the trigger. So if you are right-handed, it'd be where my thumb is, or where my thumb is, like right here. So it is very easy, but as you can tell, while the hammer is up, the safety will not go on. Once you pull it down, then it will flick up and click into place very sturdily, and it is not going to go anywhere unless you move it yourself. And then it also has a functional grip safety. Right now, if you don't hold it, the hammer will not release and you cannot pull the trigger. Hold it down and there it went. So that's also very cool, and it is good because if it is in your vest, it won't fire on you. So yeah, and then one thing that I want to mention real quick is that I do not recommend having the magazine while in your holster unless it's one of the can't remember who they're made by, but like those like kind of polymer ones that it slides in and you push a button to pull it out. If you have a I guess fabric holster, I would not recommend putting the magazine because at least mine, it will fall out. Luckily I was just having a backyard war the first time that happened, so it was not too hard to find. So if you're in a big game, if you do, then I would recommend putting some tape on it, but if not, then the magazine does have a fair bit of forward and backward wobble, pretty much no side-to-side wobble, but it does actually wobble forward to back quite a lot. Just put like a layer or two of like electrical tape on the back and that will fix it, but it is nothing that is a huge deal, and will steer you away from the gun. As you can tell, the slide or shell ejection port opens. I just wanted to mention that. And then also, like all gas blowbacks, when the magazine's in and there's no BBs. Oops. Well, I don't know why. Sometimes mine gets messed up and it will not lock back when there's a magazine in it, but no BBs. I don't know why mine's doing that. Oh, there it goes. But sometimes the magazine will not lock the slide back. I'm not 100% sure why, but sometimes it doesn't. That might be another con, but once again, not a real big deal. Only if it doesn't do that. It's done it to me. You should never dry fire your gas blowback guns, but occasionally if the slide does not lock back, you could end up dry firing it as long as there is gas in the magazine. So that's always a con. If you feel like that it's shooting more than what you put in, you can always just pull the slide back and see if there's anything in there. Because if it didn't lock back, obviously that's not good. But once again, nothing that should steer you away from the gun and the great performance. The last thing I want to talk about is the hop-up, which is located inside of the gun. So you have to take it apart. What you do is, in front of the part where the slide gets locked, there's that little hole. You have to line up the slide release with that, exactly, like that, like so, and then poke it out with that little thing right there. So go ahead and poke it out. Then it will either pop really far out and fly, or it will just poke out a little bit and you will be able to then pull it out. Then you would take off your slide, and you have your frame and your slide separated. The hop-up, if you're holding it like this, like you're actually going to fire it, is below the barrel on the right side of the gun, right here. Let me get this little screwdriver. Right here, it's a little knob that if you're looking at it like this, you would turn it to your left for hop-up off and forward, or to the right for hop-up on. So that's that. It is a good hop-up unit. It's plastic, but it is good and it does its job. One thing that I've noticed when I have disassembled the slide and looked through the barrel, such as to clean it, I just looked through it once because I really have no reason to take out the barrel. But one thing I did realize is that the hop-up does not turn all the way off. Like there will still be a little thing in there, so that could be a con. I think it is a con because like now what I like to do when I clean it is to take the barrel out so I don't mess anything up. So that's that. There is further disassembly which requires this only. You basically put it on there, turn it off, you can take a little piece out of the barrel, then you would take the spring and spring guide out, the button, and then the barrel should slide right out. But we're not going to do that in just the review. So put it back together. You have to line up the slide and slide lock once more and just punch it in. Insert your magazine, you would cock it, and you'd be good. So that is basically it. What was I going to say? That's basically it for the review, so let's get outside and see the final conclusions about the 1911A1. It is a great gun for pretty much anybody looking for a gas blowback 1911. It is especially great for World War II or Vietnam games, and it is great value being that it has a decent range and feet per second. It has adjustable hop-up, and it is full metal with the exception of the pistol grips, and that it has a 25-round magazine. Like I said, it makes it a very great value for only $150 for the gun. So that is the review, and I hope you enjoyed.